Welcome to Sacredly Selfish, a space where we flip the script on what it means to choose yourself.
I'm Megan, and together with Raju, we're diving into raw, real conversations that explore self love, boundaries, healing, and what happens when women stop abandoning themselves and start living in alignment.
Because being selfish isn't wrong. When it's sacred, it's revolutionary.
We're so glad you're here. Now, let's get selfish.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Sacredly Selfish. So, this next episode that you're about to hear, we actually hit record in the middle of this conversation. Megan had been purging some old things and came across some journal entries from 2021, and it sparked this reflection on how much life has changed since then. Megan and I started talking about growth, relationships, and sacred secrets we all carry. So, what you're about to hear is us jumping right into that conversation. I hope you enjoy this episode.
I was feeling like I needed to purge. And so I was going through all my paperwork, and then I happened to find these ripped pages, and I was like, what the heck is this? Right. And I'm looking, and it's from 2021. And I had gotten separated from my ex in October of 2020, and Michelle's accident happened in October of 2020. So it was like fresh in my feelings. And the girl that I was in 2021 compared to now in 2026, so it was almost 5 years later, I was reading these entries, and it was all about, I hate my body, I need to work out, I want to start meditating, but I'm so lazy. Did I make the right choices? Like, I feel like I made a mistake. Like, was I in love? Like, all these questions, all these things coming through, and like not even being able to meditate. It said in there, I barely meditated for 5 minutes. I don't like it. This isn't the way. I want to journal. And then I had all these like a list of goals. Like, some of them were fucking so superficial. Like, I want a Cartier bracelet and I want to save up for it, and like stupid ass shit.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was so silly. And I was like looking at it, and like I have to lose 40 pounds. Like, I had to be in this like glow up era. This is all back in, I was like 31 years old. And I'm looking at all of this, and what? I was like actually contemplating, like, because I was purging. I was like, should I throw these away? But I was like, no, because what a privilege it is to have gotten into the headspace of that 31-year-old, and like how broken she was, and all the questions and unknown, and going into this energy of the unknown, and like, did I make all the right choices? And I'm sitting here in 2026 so fucking in love with my life, and it had travel and doing a solo trip, and I did a solo trip in 2023. I forgot this list even existed. And it's so fucking beautiful and so fucking potent, because I didn't think that any of those things that I listed out was ever even, it was out. I wrote it down and it was out of my mind. And it was also this energy is like, I was like, I want a new partner and like all this kind of stuff. I was freshly getting like separated. I was like, this isn't the person that I want to bring into my life. And I want something new. I want to do all these things. And I remember going to like a psychic at that time too, because I was like so confused. And she's like, girl, you've got a lot more healing to do. And I didn't want to believe it at the time. She goes, you have to like build up this foundational phase. I forgot all about that. And I'm reading these pages, and I'm reading the months of like my grief. And now I'm sitting here like, holy shit. I have grown so much. I was faking it till I made it in 2021. I didn't start getting a coach until July of 2023. And it was like this idea that I thought I was ready back then, and that we think that we're ready for something, and like it doesn't actually come into your life at this time for a reason. And the person that I'm going to attract into my life, and the person that's going to come through, is now going to be so different than that version of me in 2021 who was so heartbroken and wanted someone to come in and fix it, wanted someone to come in and fix her life. Whereas like, no, I've done that all, and I'm so like in this expansive field. And I just was thinking like, what a privilege it is to have had these 5 years, these 6 years to really understand myself, and to like have the foundational phase now, because like if I do go through moments of grief and I do go through like activations, I know how to handle that. I know how to come at it from a different point. And so like just this freeing feeling of being able to like purge, and I'm looking at things from like I hadn't opened mail since like 2021. Like it was really bad. And then I'm thinking I'm clearing and purging out all of these things at this time. Like even like my bathroom, I started getting rid of makeup and like doing all the things. And so I was feeling like something new is coming into my life. I'm creating space for something new. And I feel like I was feeling a lot of energy towards like in January of like old wounding coming back and feeling like not good enough and really unworthy. And I felt like that was a test. I felt like that we were ending the year of the snake and going into the horse. And it was just this like test from the universe of like, you've got this. You are okay and you know how to alchemize how you're feeling, you know how to sort through how you're feeling, you're not projecting onto other people, you're really coming home to yourself. I did a whole journaling piece on this and like also about like sacred secrets. Like I feel like sometimes there's some things you just want for yourself and you don't need to share it right away. And I was also thinking about like sharing. Why do we share so like I like sometimes like it's our ego like, oh, this happened to me and like that happened to me. And I've been getting so many reflections in the last couple of weeks, which I won't share, but like just people coming up to me and this idea that like that's just for me because it's a reflection of how I'm showing up now and just how different my life is and just how different like that girl from 2021 to the girl in 2026, it's a night and day difference. Everything that I was trying to achieve, I was trying to get, but I couldn't quite get it. I'm embodying it now. I am that person. And it was like, I needed to go through every single thing, every single healing aspect of it all this growth where I thought, like, oh, this psychic said I need to heal. Oh, this psychic said I have to get this foundational phase. And I didn't understand it. And I was like, oh, wait, now I understand it because this is the woman who's now entering the world. And I've shifted and changed so much. I did a card pull too this morning and it was change and how freaking beautiful and aligned is that because we are all growing, we are all changing. And like that is the point of life. How boring would it be if we just fucking stayed the same and we just did the same thing over and over and over again? Like how lame. I don't know. But that was just like what was coming up.
That No, that is such a beautiful reflection on just how much growth and how we're so quick on wanting quick fixes in life. And your example right there is such a beautiful example of how putting in the work over the years and then reflecting back and looking at how much you have grown and where you have come after so much that has happened in life and how beautiful and how much space you're creating for yourself and even the purging and like removing things from your home. Like I think anybody can say if they clean an area in their home, whether it's their closet, hang up their clothes or something, you instantly feel lighter. And it's like creating space
Ah,
for all that and just knowing that like throughout the last 6 years, you've been slowly plugging at it, even when you thought this shit was fucking stupid. Why am I
yeah.
doing this? That was me last year around this time saying, I'm not going to fucking journal. This is so stupid. It's just such a beautiful reflection. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad we captured this. I think we
I
needed
know,
this to
I
be
think it was
captured.
so important too. And like also, like when you were talking about like it's the feng shui of the place. Like I have things from my marriage and like pictures still that were shoved in this drawer where all the paperworks were like of my wedding and like gifts that he's given me, which now it's all thrown away. But it's like this energy of like you're holding on to old energy and like what freaking for? And it's like also overconsumption. I'm looking and I started, so this morning I actually started, so as you were asking while I was so busy. But I went into my closet and I was going to start doing another closet clean out. I had done one last year and I was looking at my clothes and I started putting on clothes and I'm just such a different woman now. And even the clothes that I got when I was in my heroin, it's like that actually doesn't align with me anymore. And I'm like getting rid of some of my flowy pants and like doing all these things. And like it's so beautiful to see like the evolution of it all and like the fact that we can change our mind at any moment. We don't have to stick to like, oh, this is my style or this is who I am, which is also interesting because I wore my red boots to so it was my sister's birthday on Sunday, and so I wore my red boots and I had, like, these, like, harem pants and, like, my whole style. My whole style is, like, now I just don't care, I'm, like, wearing what feels good and all this stuff, and it was so funny, my brother's like, "Whose boots are those?" And I was like, "They're mine," and he goes, "Okay, Wicked Witch of the West," or something like that, and I was like and Michelle goes, "Oh, that's just Megan's style." Like, it's just, like, now it's like, "Oh, that's just Megan," and it didn't hurt my feelings. He was just, like, teasing like a big brother would, which I've gotten lots of reflections on my red boots, and they are stunningly beautiful. But like at the same time, it's like, oh, everyone just knows, like, oh, that's just Megan. Cause now I have a fucking personality of my own. Like, I didn't have that before. I was so people pleasing and so like, oh, whatever you want to do, and so unauthentic. And it's just like, now I'm like, oh no, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to do this. And everyone's like, yep, that's just Megan. Yep, she's going on a trip. Yep, she's doing this. And I'm just like, okay. Like, no one is like in my business anymore because they just, and that was another reflection when I was doing my journaling of that, like, I am my own person. I've created this, and like, I don't need to worry about the outside world. And there was also this idea of, okay, like, speaking of relationships, this is funny too. Just speaking of relationships and how much we judge other people's relationship when we're completely different people. Put yourself in that situation. I wouldn't do this. And I was thinking about this so hard this morning because I was like, that person, so say there's that relationship, right? There's like that girl and that guy, and that's what energetically they are together, right? And here we are trying to put ourselves in that situation of, why would we do this? Would I not? And it's like also the judgments that sometimes you harbor, like I harbor sometimes, why would she do it this way? Or why would he do it this way? And this idea that, like, we need to even know, it's not our business. And I feel like there's too much sharing when it comes to romantic relationships. And I don't know if you find this too, but I feel when people share, because then you harbor, you know, this person. You're harboring this idea of, I know what it's like to be in this because you've told me all the negative things. Or on the opposite end, you've told me all the good things and you don't really know the opposite end of the track of who this person really is. No one really knows unless you're in that situation as well. That was another reflection. It's inevitable. I'm going to end up in a relationship. But when I end up in that relationship, like, how do I want to service that relationship? So it's a lot of reflection back towards me because I do feel like there's an energy of change and there's an energy of shifting happening for me and an opening. I really do feel like something big is going to happen. And how do I want to have that relationship shown? Do I want to keep that for myself? Do I want to have a sacred secret and not share it and not let it be some big thing? Because how can you allow yourself to have the freedom to know what you're doing on the inside, to feel what you're feeling, and to alchemize all those things because you are your own person without everyone else's judgments being put in your head? Because that was the key moment of, like, when you tell someone else, they're seeing it through their lens, not your lens. So you are actually the intuitive queen that you are, that you would know if this is right for you or not right or wrong for you. And here we are, we're telling our friends, we're telling our girlfriends, and they're thinking, oh, that's like absolutely ridiculous. And she had this wonderful relationship, and they're putting their conditioning onto it. So it was just like this idea of, like, do you know what? It's okay to have a sacred secret. It's okay to not share.
Can I add to that? As
Yes.
you're talking, I don't know if you remember, obviously there was some times that I would talk about my relationship, but I did not talk badly about my relationship with my husband. And as you're talking about that, I'm like, that's why he was the greatest fucking love of my life
Yeah.
because I kept our relationship. I never talked smack about him. I never talked anything bad. I think that is the worst thing people can do is when they
Yes.
talk so negatively about their partner, the person they love the most in the world, and then their friends chime in and they start giving opinions. I didn't do that. And I
Yep.
think with your reflection right now, like I can say hands down, it is the most beautiful way to live your relationship with your partner when you do not talk down about your partner. I do
Yes.
think there's a healthy, healthy like point of what's the word I'm using for it? I think it's healthy to express and vent when you're, frustrated with something that's going on with somebody that's close with you in a safe space. However, I don't think it's appropriate to be really, like, almost insulting your partner and talking so badly about them. I think even some things you and your partner are doing that are like happy moments and like that are uplifting in your relationship, keeping them just sacred to yourself is
Yes.
so important. And that's such a huge, beautiful growth on your part as well, too, because you went through like a wild ride in your last relationship, right?
Yeah.
With your ex. And just we were all a part of it. We all heard like there was a part that you kept quiet for a long time, your
Yeah.
trauma, and then we heard a lot about everything that
Especially
was going on.
afterwards.
But
That's the thing.
this is a
Afterwards, it was like this
reflection.
huge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, afterwards you blew up. But do you remember,
Mhm.
and you do, I know you do because we've talked about this before.
Mhm.
A reflection of the kind of relationship I had and what you're kind of talking about right now is what you want for your next relationship. I never talked bad about your ex. I
No, you
never
never did.
chimed in. I
Mm.
said, "Girl, I'm here for you. You get back with him, that's fine. I'm gonna support you. Whatever your decision is, how can I support you?"
Mhm.
Whereas I know there was friends that were not talking like that at all. Because at the end of the day, it's you and that partner in the relationship. And if you're gonna ruin that person's image around everybody else, what's the point? It's still your life. Nobody knows what they're doing. And I'm guilty of like giving my opinion sometimes to others about their relationships. 100%, especially
Me
when they're
too.
asking for it.
Yeah.
I'm guilty for it. But like this reflection right now is so beautiful because I know something obviously had come up a couple of days ago as well to that really I think striked this conversation where this purging conversation went to this.
Yeah.
But I'm like totally I agree with you. Like we don't know what goes on in anyone else's life. We do not know how we're going to react if we were in that situation. And I think that's where sometimes I get a bit opinionated, especially recently knowing that I had such a good relationship with my husband and
Yeah.
that
Yeah. I think we had
that
this
now I
conversation.
yeah, so I start getting a bit opinionated saying I would never be in that situation. Lord, I am fucking
Can
blessed
I
I
be
was
honest?
never in that situation.
That activated me when you said that, and I was like,
I know because you know
"Okay,
what?
girl."
I realize that is the innocence of me. I am
Yeah.
blessed I
Yeah.
was not in a relationship like that. I am blessed I had, like I said, the greatest love of my fucking life.
Yeah.
I am blessed that I didn't have to go and sit there and talk so much crap about my husband because he was frustrating me and all these things. I'm blessed. And I'm also very happy to hear that that's the kind of relationship you're looking for next. And it was just such a beautiful reminder that, oh my God, Raj, you had an amazing relationship and be so fucking proud of that.
And that's, like, so beautiful, and that's what I kinda think of too. I don't ever remember you saying anything bad about your late husband, any fights that you had, anything, any contractions within, because that is a part of life. Like, being in a relationship, you're 2 different personalities, right? And you're gonna communicate different, and it's like, who I was when I was 25 and I met my ex is a different person completely than the woman that I am now. And that girl, like when she would drink heavily back then, and then she would be so angry because she was repressed, and then they would get into huge fights, and like like all these things, but people witnessed that outside, but no one knew like the extent of what it was because that was more shame. I was feeling more shame and like, how do I allow someone to treat me this way? And then when it started bleeding out to where people noticed that this was happening, then I started sharing more. But I also, this is the difference. That girl that I was back then who is sharing with other people, I think that's good because sometimes then you need your friends to like kind of hold up the mirror of like, girl, are you sure you're okay? Like, are you sure this is like the right thing for you? Where I'm talking about now of how like keep sacred secrets, it's more that I've got my back now. I know who I am. And so I actually am not worried about the person that I attract into my life because I know I can leave at any fucking moment. I know if something doesn't align with me, oh, sorry, that's a no for me and I'm out. So that is where I'm saying, like, how you had your relationship with your late husband, which was wonderful and beautiful, like that's where I'm kind of my mindset is
Mhm.
at now, where I actually no one needs to know anything about this relationship because what I have with my partner is so beautiful and so sacred. And that's my family. And I think I never thought of it that way before. And also in Indian family, I feel like we're also enmeshed. And we think, oh no, like my brothers and sisters and my parents, they're my family. But when you do get married, no, like your partner is your family and you're creating your own family. So you got to do what's best for you at that point. And like now I've grown from that little girl who didn't know and who's not afraid to be herself, and I feel like this is just such a beautiful energy, and I love like just even talking about relationships gets me so lit up. Like I just feel so ready and so open, and I feel like I'm just radiating, and it's just like such a beautiful happy experience. And because I am happy, like I am so grounded, and I don't even know if I'm making sense right now, but I just feel so good. And I feel so happy that I've like done all the things, and maybe people don't understand like why I was single for 6 years. Why like after my divorce that I took all this time, and everyone was always on my ass of like, well, you're gonna need to get married and you need to, you're gonna eventually have to have kids. But if I did that back then and not actually healed all the wounds and all the experiences that I had, I would not be at this place that I am now where I'm ready to attract that into my life.
Oh my God, I love this. This is so beautiful. This is a little tiny, quick little snippet of what was on Megan's mind. This episode may have started quite randomly, but she was just talking about something so beautiful, and I wanted to capture it, so I hit record. So I hope you guys enjoyed this random little 20-minute snippet of what's been going on. And Megan, I am so proud of you. And just hearing that you feel so ready and so open and something beautiful is coming into your life, I feel that energy for you as well too. And just the reflection of how far from 2021 to where you are now. And it's like what you're wanting in your relationship. And that all comes from the experiences and everything that you have gone through. And just knowing that you want the best for yourself. And I know you're going to find the best for yourself. I'm so excited to see where everything takes you. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you guys soon. Love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sacredly Selfish. Stay connected with us on Instagram and TikTok at Sacredly Selfish. And if this episode spoke to you, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs the reminder that choosing yourself is sacred, not selfish.